be very exciting and nice culmination to a very long 4-day event, David.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are live, and this is our final pitch of our final day. And it's been a pretty comprehensive and exciting 4 days. So, I mean, Ben, I mean, I don't think we could have picked anyone better. I mean, you're rocking an amazing hat and it looked glamorous as usual. So bringing some rock to the crypto ecosystem, it's certainly needed. So when you're ready, we're over to you, and tell us all about SingularityDao.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here and excited to tell you about our new decentralized finance project, sort of bringing AI to decentralized finance and to bringing decentralized finance to the broader altcoin universe. So yeah, as you know, I've been doing AI for 30 plus years in research and in commercial projects, but I've been around crypto world since 2016, 2017, and did the ICO with SingularityNet in 2017. And my main focus there was on just decentralizing AI, which I've talked about a lot in the past. But in the course of working on SingularityNet and building the world's first decentralized AI platform and all that, I mean, I also came to understand the crypto ecosystem and some of its strengths and weaknesses. And this is what has led me now to formulate a new project, which is a sort of spin-off of SingularityNet, which is SingularityDao. Because one of the things I saw with launching SingularityNet and with advising a bunch of other cryptocurrency related projects, some of them quite successful, some less so, what I saw is that the financial ecosystem for altcoins, besides like the top 2, 3, or 4 altcoins, the financial ecosystem for altcoins is really quite immature. I mean, folks will launch a new token which powers some amazing new product idea that they have, and that token is out there, and then what's the crypto economy for that token? There's OTC sales, there's a small number of centralized exchanges, and then a whole bunch of questionable things happening there. Now we have DEXs, but the DEX economy for lower liquidity altcoins, it remains quite immature. So what we're looking at doing with SingularityDao is using some financially moderately sophisticated methods together with the whole modern apparatus of DEXs and non-custodial trading and so forth. We're looking at using the full palette of DeFi mechanisms to help improve liquidity and improve the whole economy for lower liquidity altcoins. And AI turns out to be highly valuable here in all sorts of ways. So we're looking at, so how do you build a next generation utility token ecosystem? And what we want,
Ben, sorry to interrupt, but are you playing are you going through different slides again? Because I remember we had this issue before.
I certainly hope not.
Yeah. Oh, you're not? Okay, cool. Oh yeah, there we go. Because we were stuck on the same page for a little bit there.
I think that's just a connection lag this time around. Yeah. So what you see now is the need for a next gen utility token ecosystem.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Over to you, buddy. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So the problem we're looking at solving here, the sort of pain point in the crypto ecosystem we're looking at addressing with SingularityDao is to boost liquidity and improve the intelligence of collective price discovery for lower liquidity altcoins. And I mean this is really important because it's the lower liquidity, middle liquidity altcoins that represent early stage technology projects or artistic projects like NFTs, which are introducing innovation into the world. And I mean we need the decentralized tech ecosystem to become a superior alternative to the traditional ecosystem with its seed investors, VCs, and corporate acquisitions and so forth. I mean, it's now superior in some ways, but frankly, inferior in others, right? And part of that is we just don't have the sophistication of financial infrastructure in the decentralized world yet. But I mean, we're getting there, and we're building a lot of that with SingularityDao right now. So we want to enable investors who may not be cognizant of all the intricacies of every token project out there. We want investors to be able to effortlessly invest in portfolios or indices. So you're investing in a whole bunch of different interesting altcoins all at once, just by buying one ETF-like token corresponding to a whole bunch of different tokens. And you need AI-based robo-advisors to decide which tokens to put into these portfolios and indices, and how to rebalance them. And again, this has been going on since forever in the traditional finance world. There's no reason the power of AI for prediction of portfolio management, hedging, and so forth shouldn't be there in the decentralized utility token universe. And we can then integrate this with some of the more unique things that have popped up in the DeFi space, such as yield farming on stake tokens, and this can all be wrapped into decentralized governance with governance driven by governance tokens. So you can have the financial sophistication which has been there in the traditional finance world, but you can have it in a way that's not controlled by a few mega corporations, but is controlled by democratic decision making of the participants. And this brings us finally to SingularityDao. So we have a novel tokenomic system. You have what are called dynaset tokens, which are dynamically non-custodially managed weighted sets and indices of utility tokens. So they're like ETFs, but there's non-custodially managed ETFs with like a single token for each ETF. They're managed by AI agents on the back end. If you stake these dynaset tokens, these ETF-like tokens, if you stake them, then you can yield farm, and you can get yield tokens, and the stake tokens can be loaned out and then traded by AI agents or other agents, all of which is then building liquidity on the back end and improving price discovery for the lower liquidity utility tokens underlying the dynasets in the first place. And then all this is managed based on the democratic vote of the holders of the SingDAO governance token. So it's a novel tokenomic ecosystem. There's some complexity to it. There's a white paper on SingularityDao.ai that goes into the token logic and the relation of all these tokens in more depth. I mean, it's a little complicated, but I mean, it's not at the level of like credit default swaps or stuff that's been around in traditional finance since forever. And AI is really here behind the scenes, sort of greasing all the cogs and wheels of the financial machinery, right? Because you need AI to manage the portfolios of altcoins, which are correlated and evolving in complex ways. You need reinforcement learning based market making on the back end in order to keep the liquidity flowing for all these tokens. And when you're borrowing baskets of lower liquidity altcoins from the pool of staked token sets, I mean, then you need AI guided predictive and hedging strategies there to do the risk management properly. So that, the logic of SingularityDao doesn't have AI wired into it intrinsically, but to get something of this complexity to work, you really need AI for prediction and portfolio management and risk management. And of course, this is the connection with the SingularityNet platform that I've been working on and leading since 2017, right? I mean, SingularityNet is the perfect platform on which to build and deploy all of the AI needed for this sort of decentralized finance platform. I mean, this can be the first killer app for SingularityNet, just like DeFi as a whole has been the first killer app for Ethereum. So, I mean, it's different tokens than the AGI token that underlies the SingularityNet platform, but SingularityNet is what's needed to deliver all the AI needed at all the levels of the SingularityDAO ecosystem. And of course, from a community perspective, SingularityNet has achieved a lot of media presence. I mean, we have millions of views for our videos on YouTube and so forth. We have 100,000 plus readers for our newsletters. So we have a community that we can reach out to enthuse them about SingularityDao, you know, as an application of the AI whose development within SingularityNet they've been following. So yeah, I've sort of masterminded the AI and tokenomics behind this. Actually, my colleague Marcello Mari, who is the one who introduced me to this cool event, Marcello is leading the project from a business perspective, and we've got, you know, a fantastic tech team and a marketing and finance and legal team. So there's a whole bunch of people behind this, some of whom have come from SingularityNet and some of whom are new, coming in with new decentralized finance experience. I mean, it's structured as a decentralized autonomous organization. So I mean, we have a corporation that we've created just to finance and coordinate the building of the initial platform, which is now underway. But once it's rolled out and out there and fully operational, it's a true DAO, and the governance is entirely being driven by the holders of the SingDAO governance token. And again, this is something where we're benefiting from what we've learned with SingularityNet. I mean, we're making the governance just much cleaner in a pure DAO from the beginning with SingularityDao, and that it fits really nicely with having all non-custodial contracts and so forth. So I think it's really very elegant, and I think this can become quite huge, because what we're looking at is using AI and financial engineering together to make the universe of lower liquidity altcoins, you know, actually healthy, right? And we want to make a situation where we're some brilliant young geeks from any country around the world create some new tokenomics-based technology or art or social project. They launch it out there. It's not just they mint some tokens, launch it, and then it's madness, right? They mint some tokens, they launch their project, then the tokens can be included in these baskets and indices, and you have a mechanism for yield farming and futures trading and risk management by various funds and entities on top of their tokens. And I think this can really help to make, you know, launching an altcoin based project an unprecedentedly viable route for new technology projects, and of course can deliver a lot of return for those who have gotten early into the tokens of the SingularityDao project along the way. So we're looking at a few stages to be gone through early next year. I mean, we're offering some pre-purchase of the SingDAO governance tokens, as well as equity in the company underlying that's doing the initial build and launch of the platform. Then there'll be a preliminary phase where folks can stake Ethereum or AGI tokens in an interim liquidity pool, just to build up the liquidity that we need to launch the thing. And then finally, once the full platform is launched, I mean, you can buy the Dynaset token sets, aggregating together altcoins. You can then yield farm on them, and you can earn governance tokens via staking your Dynaset sort of basket tokens for a sufficient period of time. So I'm looking forward to rolling all this out early next year, and not only to the growth of SingularityDao, but to the positive impact I believe this can have on the whole altcoin economy. I mean, we got to remember, decentralized finance is at a really early stage, right? It's probably like where quantitative finance was in the 1970s, or AI driven finance was in the 80s and 90s. So there's been rapid growth. There's a lot of cool things, but you know, we're just at the beginning, and there's so many other interesting ways that blockchain and financial engineering are gonna come together to yield all sorts of value. And I feel privileged to be once again involved at the early stage of a blockchain based technology revolution.
That's brilliant. I really appreciate your time, Ben, and thank you, Marcella, for being involved too. I certainly have a bunch of questions for you on a personal level, but I think the structure of today, Matt, is we're going to be kind of ending this this kind of like pitch session now, and then we're bringing kind of everyone back together for kind of a roundtable kind of question. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of different questions for everybody, and you know, make it as interactive as possible.
Sure. Let's have the production team switch over to the panel discussion now. So end the stream and start the new one. We are still live streaming on the Oh Hey Maddie